Up first in our video series is how we train our eagles for the big day. This may come as a surprise, but no matter how often our birds have flown in Jordan-Hare, we actually have to practice with them every single year. And there's 3 stages to this practice. There are short distance flights along with the relationship building, there's creance training, and lastly, there's ramp training. The first step in the training process is relationship building. These are wild eagles, and we also have a host of volunteers that rotate through each season. So our priority is to keep that relationship strong even when these birds are not flying in the stadium. This may start with something we call approximations. We use positive reinforcement to gradually build to the behavior that we want to see. Our volunteers and staff may have our birds fly perch to perch in their room. They allow them to voluntarily step up to the glove and reinforce that with a reward. The key is to build trust and autonomy in all these birds do. We want to give them a choice and control over their environment, take cues from them when stimuli gets too frightening or too overwhelming, and we want to keep that bond of trust strong throughout the year. Once we have a strong relationship with our birds, we may start to ask them to perform more and more behaviors for us. Especially during the summer, as we start preparing for the game season, we may ask them to perform something called creance flights. Creance is just a fancy falconry term for a tether. The reason we have our birds fly on a tether is because they're non-releasable. And in the event that they get spooked or that there's a stimuli such as nearby construction that's outside of our control, we have that additional safety measure to ensure they can come safely home. They gradually build their flight fitness this way. We may start in the amphitheater. We start with shorter distances, we fly them to the lure and gradually increase the distance until we see them have their game face on and they are expressing full focus and drive in the behavior. And then we will graduate to Jordan-Hare itself with on-field flights of increasing distances until we know they're ready to cut the cord. At this point, we're ready to cut the creance. We may return to on-field flights and build up distance again at this stage, or we may start to release them from higher and higher points in Jordan-Hare Stadium, using the bleachers and eventually going up to the release points that you're familiar with seeing on game day. Once we get to this point, we're ready to do what you see on game day. These birds are going to the stadium 5 days a week. Each day they're flying 3 to 4 times to build up that fitness and also build up that confidence. Our eagles train just like our athletes. This is key not just in building repetition in the behavior so they know exactly what to do and what's expected of them, but also to build up their flight fitness. We want them to have good flight endurance in order to maintain that soar on game day. It's important to me that people understand that a lot of hard work goes into training these eagles, but more importantly, it's also very good for their mental and physical well-being. Those practice flights in particular give them the opportunity to stretch their wings, practice the natural behavior of flying and soaring over wide open spaces, and also offer the enrichment of more or less hunting for the lure our trainers use to call them down.